Welcome to Money Matters with Greg, where we dive into the money conversations shaping your life. From investments to estate planning, insurance to taxes, we cover it all with a fresh perspective. Join Greg and his guests each week to get inspired and take control of your financial future. Let's get started. Securities and investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Good afternoon. The show's Money Matters with Greg. I'm Greg Farrell, CEO and owner of Farrell Wealth. It's a wealth management firm located in Valparaiso, Indiana. And we are broadcasting here today at 103.1 FM, WVLP, as well as anywhere you pod your podcast, Spotify, Apple, you name it, Google, as well as YouTube. And you can catch us on the YouTube channel as well. The show's about money. We talk about many different things that help you save money, make money, invest your money, and then also use some principles that we use in the financial planning world as financial advisors, trying to help you add some value to your lives as well. We have guests on this show quite often. We're excited to be back. We kind of did a little bit of a respite. We've been extremely busy with the war, which I'm going to talk about here as well with the war with Iran. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but I wanted to dive in really quickly with something I think is really, really important that is time sensitive. So something came about with legislation just recently that was, I can't remember if it was an executive order or not, but it ultimately came about through President Trump initiating these Trump accounts that they are was announced for over $1,000 to go to your newborn child or grandchild. And I wanted to be able to bring that up pretty quickly here because it's really important that you do something before you file your taxes. Today is April 8th. We're broadcasting here on Thursday, April 9th at 1 o'clock at WVLP 103.1, and then also again this Saturday at 1 o'clock as well, live. It'll be recorded as well, but as far as the radio goes, it'll be live on the radio. But as far as this podcast and also at the YouTube channel, I wanted to get this out before April 15th, where most people are going to file their taxes. If you're not on extension, you're going to file by April 15th, and you need this form that is out there on the website as well as irs.gov to really dig in to get this money for your grandchild or for your child. So the rules are like this. If you had a child born in 2025, and then ultimately 26, 27, 28, we're not going to worry about those right now. Just want to make sure you get inside the deadline for 2025. You have to file what's called a Form 4547. That obviously, there's a reason why it's 4547, obviously, because President Trump was the 45th and the 47th president. And you can submit it online. There is a way to be able to do it if you go to trumpaccounts.gov. That's trumpaccounts.gov. Go to the website, search it up, Google it, whatever you got to do. But you can submit the information through that form, the electronic Form 4547, at a submission portal. So I wanted to bring this up because you've got to get it in before April 15th to get your $1,000 for your kid or grandkid by July. So they're sending the money out. The account will be set up. The money will be printed and pushed out to the account in July. So this is in lieu of or in just something to get done beforehand. Plus the $250 from, I don't know if you know this, but Michael Dell and his wife donated billions of dollars for kids for the next 3 to 4 years to get another $250 as well. So you're eligible to get $1,250 free money. And this is not political. This is not, I don't necessarily know, whatever. We're not talking politics here. We're just talking money. And that's what we do in this show. And it shows Money Matters with Greg. That's why we talk this. You're going to need dates of birth. You're going to need contact information. You're going to need social security number for you and your child. And you will elect to receive a $1,000 contribution if the child is eligible and you are eligible to make the election for the child. Pretty easy, really simple. You can also submit the form. You go to irs.gov and just search as well, Form 450, 4547. But you can also submit it through the website. So once that submission happens, the information that you provide is transmitted to the IRS. And it's used to prepare and file the Form 4547 to establish that Trump account for the identified children. And you'll be contacted by a trustee with whom your Trump account will be established. And that looks like that's pending. I know Robinhood was mentioned as well as a couple others as far as where that custodian, where it's going to be custody. But basically, you as a parent or a guardian have the authorization to be able to do this. So I wanted to make sure that you knew to do this. And then if any child born in 2025, let's get that form in. Let's make sure you get it done and collect your money. Okay, so that's really how I want to start the show, because here it is, April 8th or April 9th, April 8th. And you got to submit that form before April 15th. So I hope that's helpful. It was just a quick tidbit that I wanted to be able to produce this show to get this done. So you would be able to take care of that. Any kid born in 2025, now in the future, if you're pregnant now here in 2027, 2026, there's $1,000 there for next year. You would have to file that form the next year for April 2026, 2027, and 2028. So that's pretty incredible. It really is. That is a great way to start. It grows tax-free. There are going to be multiple investment options for you to pick from, but talk to your financial advisor, talk to your accountant, and make sure you're getting counsel on this. But you submit the form and make sure it's done before April 15th and you file. You're on a really good path to collecting that $1,000. So super important. Just wanted to get to that. The show's Money Matters with Greg. I'm Greg Farrell, CEO and owner of Farrell Wealth. We talk money on this show. And I wanted to talk about something that everybody's wanting to talk about right now, because we had a little bit of volatility in the market. It has been absolutely insane in the last few months, and certainly in the last few weeks, with the sell-off in the markets overall. Not only have you had international movement, Europe, as well as AI, and then nervousness about the credit markets don't help. But as of yesterday, so today was a really good day. I'm going to go over that in a second. But as of yesterday, the U.S. and Iran announced a 2-week ceasefire before the 8 p.m. deadline, and markets reacted as you totally expect. Oil fell sharply, down 15% in the morning. I think it ended up down 12% overall. I'll bring it up right here. It was down almost 13% at the close. Global stocks surged on the news and continued to surge. The NASDAQ was up about 3%. The S&P was up 2.5%. So the fact that stocks didn't drop sharply on Tuesday, going into today on Wednesday, really sort of underscores the fact that markets really believed that a ceasefire would be reached by the deadline for multiple reasons. And one of them would be the U.S. has achieved most of the military objectives. They said that they basically have hit 100% of everything they wanted to hit. They also wanted to achieve, really anything to achieve any more would require a massive escalation, of which it doesn't really appear that there's very little to no appetite to do that. So the ceasefire expectations were largely met for now. So what about going forward? trying to give you some guidance here as much as we can as what we're seeing. Um, it has been a wild ride because who knows where things are going? Who knows what tweet's going to happen, or what true social comment is going to be able to be made, or whatever. And so it's definitely been a whipsaw to up 2%, down 1%, down 2% again, and then the continuation of this. So stocks have been hit for sure. There is opportunity. I've been talking about that on this show multiple times. You want to be able to do your homework, do your research, sharpen your pencils. But this is where good, solid investing comes into play. And if you know what you're doing, you have your disciplines, you have your goals, you have your rules, you'll do extremely well to pick and choose places to invest and invest in good names. So looking forward, while clearly there is a positive for the markets compared to the alternative, which has been just nothing but negative, it's not going to automatically end market volatility for the near future. First thing is, most expect that the ceasefire to hold, but don't expect it to be painless, for sure. You're going to hear lots of news. Iran, for 4 decades, 5 decades, has lied and gone against what they said and gone against their word. So negotiations over the next 2 weeks are going to be tense, and these threats from both sides are really they're going to send oil temporarily higher. We'll see. Right now down 13%. It's a nice respite. I think you'll feel that at the pump really soon as well, to get some sort of relief. Are we going back to pre-war levels anytime soon? Probably not. But just so you know, there's a lot of positivity coming your way in regards to that. So the second thing is, even if the ceasefire is maintained and it's permanent and transit goes through the Hormuz Strait, and this all returns to pre-war levels, oil prices, they aren't going back to pre-war levels for a while. So Iran weaponized the Strait effectively, and fears of that happening again will be sort of on everybody's mind, and sort of a risk premium in the oil for a while. So while it's not likely to stay at $90 a barrel, it's definitely going to stay above the pre-war level of 65 or 60, or honestly where it should be is closer to 50. We have been very bearish on oil, and barring any geopolitical movements, we were right for quite a while. And that being said, we had a war, and a war over oil and uranium. So we'll see where this goes from here. But just letting everybody know, it's better. It's better. There's positive, but it's not there yet. The third thing is even if Iran, the whole situation fades away, let's talk about the economic side, inflation data, that we're going to deal with this fallout of the commodity prices spike, and likely keeping the Fed on the sidelines for sure, for certainly the foreseeable future. No rate cuts. You're going to have a new Fed chair coming in here. And inflation, if it keeps on rising, the possibility of rate hikes, believe it or not. We'll see about all of that. You have one main thing that's really hurting is fertilizer. So most of the fertilizer has not been received at all to the places it needs to go, especially for spring planting, namely India and America. So there's there's demand for large amounts of fertilizer that have not been able to be delivered. So I think that's going to certainly hurt food prices coming up here, as to whether any American farmers are able to even plant at all. We've had a very wet March and April, so I think things are, pending, but I have not seen, certainly where we live, I have not seen any plows been plowing yet. And here it is already April. So the fourth thing, and the other sort of two headwinds on stocks that I need to be able to talk about, is the private credit worries. We have been watching that, and we are concerned about private credit with many of these private equity and private credit firms capping distributions. So people asking for their money, saying, please give me money back. And they're like, no, we're only letting 5% go out or 3% go out. That is a worry. There's a reason for that, that they obviously have issues in the private credit. Want to be wary of that for sure. And then, of course, AI anxiety. Look, these AI stocks have been absolutely hammered. The investments they've made are immense. And so far, we've not yet seen the benefits as much as we've seen the expenses. So the market wants to see results. And with that anxiety in place, really both of these things have kind of deteriorated the last month while the world's really been focused on Iran. As that goes away, hopefully, and everything gets resolved, in the near term, we see a strong bounce. That's what we got today. With most of those beaten up sectors, consumer discretionary, staples, all bouncing the hardest, while the sectors really sort of that outperform, the energy and materials, should see some pretty intense profit taking, and you've already seen that. In the near term, the ceasefire will not be the singular catalyst for a rally back to new highs. Yes, a solid bounce is fully expected, and that's exactly what happened today, and I think it continues. But we continue to really favor those quality cash flow focused stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, as well as defensive sectors, just to keep an eye out. We're not done here yet. There are some opportunities for sure, but you want to be able to make sure that again, you've done your homework, you have your goals, you have your rules. And you ultimately want to invest wisely. So that's the update on the war and what happened today, what happened yesterday, and then hopefully what's going to happen in the future for all. The show's Money Matters with Greg. I'm Greg Farrell, CEO and president of Farrell Wealth. It's a wealth management firm that's local here in Valparaiso, Indiana, and serving clients in 24 states. We have a lot of clients that have been very concerned about things and questioning what's going on and looking at different opportunities. What are we thinking? What are we doing? What would you like to invest in? And I think there are some things that, as far as sectors, that I can't make individual recommendations on this show. I highly recommend you meet with your financial advisors, you talk to your accountants, and talk to your advisors that are part of your team for sure. But some of the things that you can be thinking about are the trends that are very, very important to investing. I've always been a fan of finding trends and then investing in those trends, riding the wave, surfing that wave, and ultimately when that wave's about ready to extinguish, when everybody else wants to get in, that's when, you look around and you maybe take profits. So at least trim positions, be disciplined, take some money off the table, and look for the next trend, because there is another trend. There's always a new trend. It's always a matter of where you ultimately might want to be, or where you want to be able to be invested overall. It's just a matter of making sure you listen with your eyes and watch to see what those trends are in the future. And right now, some of those trends that we're seeing are with nuclear, with the ability to be able to have more energy for AI. You're seeing infrastructure, as well as most of the things that you don't necessarily see or think about with data farms and some of the things is not only the energy that's necessary, but the energy and the machines that run it. So you want to kind of be looking at those infrastructure plays that matter to AI and matter to those data farms, as well as the energy side. So you look at the grid, you look at nuclear, you look at uranium, you look at things that ultimately are going to be necessary in order to be able to make all of the things that we want to do and what companies want to do with investments in AI. Sort of figure out what the ancillary things are that matter to that production. And certainly you can invest in the AI world, and you know those names, they're out there. The Mag 7s all have investments in artificial intelligence in some way, for sure, but also looking at the trend, which is all the other satellites that actually can help make you money and make profit overall. So I hope this will help on some of the things that we're looking at, for sure. We're also seeing and looking elsewhere as far as overseas with those countries that have gotten on board with the administration's request, not only in regards with tariffs, but also with trade, and making sure that there's friendly allies along the way. I think there's been some things produced as far as results and people avoiding what's going on in Iran. And I think there will ultimately be repercussions for that. So when you start thinking about where you invest in Europe and who you invest in Europe, those are things you have to think about, whether they matter or not necessarily to one entire country or one company, is going to be part of your research. But those are things you definitely have to consider because of this current administration and how it is a requirement, basically a pay-to-play conversation in regards to their businesses and doing business with the United States of America. We'll see where this goes, but it is definitely something to think about. So we are considering those things too. That is just something I wanted to share with you and let you know that you should be considering them as well. So I hope that was helpful. We talked about Trump accounts today. Make sure you go to trumpaccounts.org if you've recently had a baby or know someone. I mean, look, this is free knowledge here. So any baby that's been born in 2025, whether it's someone that's in your family or somebody, let's say at church or one of your friends or at school or wherever, a classmate or whatever had, their mom had a young child or whatever, let them know, and just go to trumpaccounts.org. You can sign up, or you can go to irs.gov and get that form 4547. And then we talked about the markets overall as far as what's been going on this week. Though it is the week of today's April 8th. So as we talked about some of the movements we've had, we have a 3% rally today. Oil's down. It was down 15%, down 13%. So it's been a wild ride, no doubt. So I'm just trying to help you navigate as much as you can. And I hope you are able to get some value from this conversation. And find us on a YouTube channel. You can find us on anywhere you pod, Apple, Spotify, you name it. And then, of course, WVLP 103.1 FM, station identification for that. Thanks for being a partner with us. We enjoyed being the partnership we have with 103.1 FM locally here in Valparaiso, Indiana. Greg Farrell, CEO and owner of Farrell Wealth, and a financial advisor, and I'm hoping that I was able to help you out a little today. I hope you had a wonderful Easter and a great holiday. Happy spring as we finally turn here. Baseball started. I'm very excited about that here in the Midwest. It's about to turn, and things are going to start getting really good around here as far as the weather goes. Hope you have a great week and a very profitable week, and we'll catch you next week. See you.
Thanks for tuning in to Money Matters with Greg. We hope you gained some valuable insights today. Remember, your financial journey is personal, but you don't have to go it alone. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe and share. Until next time, here's to making your money work for you. Securities and investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.